salt is an interesting debate because as you know, there's a lot of people saying we need more salt, we need more potassium, we need more sodium to help balance the minerals, and that can improve brain function. And a lot of people are, and then most people are eating too much bread. And according to the CDC, bread and rolls is the number one source of added salt to the American diet. And so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on salt and why people would want to reduce their salt intake, or what the proper salt intake looks like for the average healthy adult and or children.
Yes, because we know when we follow primitive societies, and there are those societies that are separate from civilization that don't salt their foods, and you see that those like the Catawba Island study, or the Comorimal Indians, or the Amazons, or in any case, we see that the teenagers have the same blood pressure as toddlers do. Middle age have the same blood pressure as toddlers do, and the elderly have the same blood pressure as toddlers do. In other words, we don't see raising blood pressure with aging in primitive societies that don't salt their food. Furthermore, we see no heart attacks or strokes in those societies. In the Catawba Island study, not only were there no heart attacks and strokes in the present population, but their ancestors have no history of that. So in other words, the salt consumption consumed by the human species has gone from about 1,000 milligrams a day to now about 3,000 milligrams a day in the last 500 years. And we've seen, and obviously we have probably more than 5,000 studies documenting chronic exposure to salt for decades, and it's run its role in causing all-cause mortality. We're not just causing high blood pressure. Salt causes microvascular hemorrhaging. It weakens the blood vessels over decades of use, causing increased risk of aneurysms and hemorrhage. But it also increases risk of autoimmune conditions because it suppresses immune function. And it also increases risk of stomach cancer. So there's a tremendous amount of risk from salt consumption. So I'm saying that the amount of sodium humans need is the amount of sodium that is present in natural foods that we get when we eat vegetables and beans and nuts and things like that. And we don't salt our foods. We don't overconsume salt. Then our sweat is not salty. And we don't urinate out salt either. The body holds on to the sodium it needs. And when it does that, it doesn't excrete extra minerals. The body can't selectively remove sodium from its tissues without also losing other electrolytes at the same time. So then you try to exercise and you get cramping, or you have to take more, you're always mineral deficient because you're continually excreting salt and other minerals in your sweat and in your urine. So I'm suggesting, and then some people say, oh, I can have sodium because my blood pressure is low and I'm not salt responsive. Well, that's also a ridiculous statement, because almost everybody by the age of 70 has high blood pressure. And they always say, oh, I never had a high blood pressure. It was always normal. And what happens is the buildup of decades of use of salt, they call it salt years. If we have 1,000 at the baseline of what would be probably acceptable for the human species, 2,000 would be a salt year, 3,000 would be 2 salt years, 4,000 would be 3 salt years, by the number of years you had that extra consumption of sodium. And it adds up over the decades and over the years, causing eventually the sympathetic tone in your shifts, and you develop high blood pressure, which is now not as quickly responsive to a healthy diet or salt avoidance. Had you done it before you had the sympathetic tone change itself. But in any case, I'm just giving some information about how we get sufficient sodium when we eat natural foods, and the extra salt humans are consuming are detrimental to human survival, and that you have all types of crazy people on the internet telling people that a carnivore diet is good, or a keto diet is good, or salt is good, or take high doses of iodine, or take 50,000 years of vitamin D, you have all types of, on both sides of every equation, right? But it takes a lot of work and time to investigate. Like, for example, maybe there's 100 to 1,000 studies in the scientific literature, and you review all the studies and rate them based on their credence and their value of a well-done study, and you're left with 100 studies. That's called a meta-analysis, right? But so it's very rare that a person isn't, let's say, having some predetermined bias to prove, pulling out some studies they want to promote what they're interested in promoting to have their niche or their own message look good. There are people who say it's better to eat more cholesterol. Cholesterol doesn't matter. Eat all the egg yolks you want. Eat all the eggs you want. Eat all the fat you want. There's all type. If you want to do something, you can get people to support you on the internet with whatever you want to do.
Now,